So my name is Jeremy Nori. I am a director and a filmmaker. I met Dr. Turi at the Alien Snowfest. We were up at the Alien Snowfest doing a larger project. And because Dr. Turi was just so nice and so engaging, we decided that we would do another project that was just kind of his story. It turned out to be one of our most successful projects. We wanted to do a film that was focusing on what he was really good at, more than just his experiences. Astrology, I'm very skeptical of. I am a big fan of science, and so I have heard many different people talk about it. I've heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about it. I've heard their opinions on how inaccurate it is and how not scientific it is. It's like some sort of a parlor trick, according to a lot of people. I'm also a big fan of the amazing Randy and Banachek and mentalism. So I know about, real cues and suggested behavior that kind of will influence you into kind of doing what those people need you to do and saying the things they want you to say. And it seems like they're reading your mind, but what's really happening is they're just kind of suggesting something to you and guiding you along a path that you're just not aware of. But I'm also very open-minded. So when we went into this project, I was game to do whatever Dr. Turi wanted to do. And he wanted to do my reading. So that's what we did.
All right, so I've got Jeremy, date of birth. Jeremy was born on November the 10th, 1978. The chart is set at 12 p.m., but divine astrology is used. And again, Nostradamus 500 years ago didn't have a watch or a computer, so the chart does not delegate longitude, latitude. It's very objective. Remember, astrology is an art, and you delegate the art with intuition and symbolism, and that's where I'm going to cover.
So going into the reading, I will also preface this saying that Dr. Turi doesn't know me at all. We did this UFO film, and he did an interview for me, and we talked for like maybe 2 hours. That's it. And it was all about the UFO stuff. He didn't learn anything about me personally. Basically, other than a tiny amount of chit chat, Dr. Turi doesn't know me pretty much at all.
All right, so I'm looking at your house number 1. Okay, house number 1 is your soul's purpose. It's not you. You are every sign of the zodiac each time you enter a different house. And you were born in November. So this is house number 1, where you are a Scorpio. It's your soul's purpose. Now, in your first house, you have the planet Venus at 13 degrees, 33 seconds if you're in total degrees. Venus in Scorpio. Venus is the goddess of love and beauty. There she is. She is in Scorpio. This is a very intense sign, and Venus in Scorpio depicts the type of love you need. It's deep, mystical. Scorpio has a stinger, meaning also you could be jealous and possessive or suspicious.
We started out with relationships, and I have had, my relationships have been both really, really wonderful and then pretty terrible at the end. A lot of it is my own fault. And part of that could be because I'm not making that connection with the girls that I've dated. A lot of the girls that I've dated because of being attracted to them physically. And the things that we share are, just kind of a side piece. I've never had a girlfriend that was just like me. The best I've had have been girlfriends that were just really nice, wonderful people. And then I ended up ruining that. So it's interesting to hear him say that I need a connection. That's definitely what I'm looking for now when I think about a partner.
The idea is to make sure not to sting the object of love with the poison of the Scorpio, which is jealousy, resentment, suspicion, sarcasm, and control your intense emotions into the sign of Scorpio. As a rule, when Venus is in Scorpio, you will be forced, hypothetically speaking, to die and rebirth out of your love life, stronger, better, and wiser into the eagle of the zodiac. Okay? The negative Scorpion is the stinger. Again, the past, jealousy, resentment, killing, negativity, the poison. It is the only sign who can transform into the eagle of the zodiac, which means above all the trauma, all the drama that you had to experience on the emotional side because your Venus in the sign of Scorpio.
So then Dr. Turi says that I could be jealous and possessive and suspicious. So I have had a couple of my relationships basically ruined because of my jealousy and suspicion. And granted, it's made me a much better person now, but during those times, it was emotional chaos for me. I had one girlfriend that she was becoming friends with my friends, and I ended up abandoning those friends because I was so suspicious that something was going to happen between her and one of them. And to my knowledge, that never happened. I definitely can be a very jealous and suspicious person.
You happen to have a very interesting planet also in your first house, and it's called Uranus, you see? The planet of the future, the planet of technology, the planet of television, the planet of UFOs, the planet of astrology, the planet to regulate the new age of Aquarius, right in your first house. So you have that originality, you have that Aquarius, eccentric, technology-oriented side. And it's a great option for you, of course, if you are into UFOs, to delegate this world. So you have in you not only a Scorpio, but also a little bit of a weird electronic Aquarius, okay?
One of the interesting things about this is that Dr. Turi kind of just knows me as a filmmaker. Before I was a filmmaker, I was in the cannabis industry, and I did all kinds of stuff in the cannabis industry. My life was chaotically full of drama, not just relationship drama, which I'm sure that could be true for a lot of people, but this also kind of triggered a thing in me where drama in my personal life, even with people I know, like friends and things like that, it is constant. It is happening all the time to me. And it's driven me to seek a much more simple, much more peaceful life because I just cannot deal with the stress and anxiety associated with all this drama. And yeah, it's been a big part of my life.
All right, this is good because Scorpio is a water sign, which is possessive, while this guy is a little bit more aloof and independent. So it helps your very deep emotions of Venus in Scorpio. The Sun in Scorpio means that you will be forced to die in this lifetime.
For me, every time he says that, it just kind of clues it makes me think about my obsession with death, how I definitely don't think I'm coming back. In fact, I think video games have kind of put the concept of reincarnation into everyone's mind. And so many people just think they're going to, start over again when this is all done. And that concept to me is ridiculous. And the way I like to describe it is I have absolutely no connection to a life that I led before this. I never think about thoughts or the likes or the experiences of some former self. So how would anyone in the future have any sort of connection to me and my whole life and all my experiences? It seems extremely unlikely to me.
Scorpio life is usually loaded with drama. Okay? And because you are one of the most powerful signs, if not the most powerful sign of the zodiac, each time, as I said earlier, you die, you will be forced to rebirth into a better, higher person, or the eagle who flies above all the drama. Okay? I'm going to ask you a question. Do you have a good connection with your mom?
I do.
Beautiful.
When I think about it, for other people, it's very different. Some people don't have both their parents in their life. I have both my parents. He chose my mom. Some people might not even have a mom in their life at all. I have a good relationship with my mom, so that was true. I also have a good relationship with my dad, though. So, and it's hard to say who I'm more like, but I definitely have, a pretty decent bond with my mom.
Okay, because the intensity and the connection with your mother is very strong in his chart. The reason why I mentioned that is because your moon is in the sign of Pisces. You see, your moon sign right here is into the sign of Pisces. Now, Pisces rules anything and everything that well with your emotional response to life. Pisces is all about movie, imagination, spirituality, creativity, music, acting, dancing. I don't know. Are you into the art?
I am.
What
I
do you
love
do?
art.
What do you do?
I mean, I'm a filmmaker now, but I've been very creative throughout my life.
You are blessed with the moon in the sign of Pisces. However, it is on your dragon's tail, as mentioned in the chart. So that could mean some problems during the upbringing. Maybe could be religion, somebody drinking, somebody sick. I don't know. I don't want to dig too much. I know Scorpio is a very private sign, but we're doing something that I have to explain to other people. Are you afraid of water, or do you like water?
I like water.
All right. Do you have any problem on your feet? Flat feet, eye arch, surgery, anything? Just a question.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I played soccer for almost 20 years, and my feet are like dead, but it has been an advantage to me when I started doing martial arts. One of the things for me in jiu-jitsu was that nobody could really leg lock me. It took a lot. And I could get them while they were fooling around trying to get me. And just because of my dead feet, I didn't feel a lot. It had to be perfect. So my feet are a connection. And my mom always walks around barefoot. I've learned about the science now that is showing that there's a lot of benefit from walking barefoot on grass. It's interesting. He also asked me about water. So water is a big thing for me too. I love the ocean. I love lake. In fact, I live near a lake right now, and the place I lived before that, I lived near a lake. And I hope to always live near water. So water's a big thing for me too. I don't know that that's true for everyone. In fact, there's probably a number of people that that's not true for them at all.
All right, so this is how I check if your tail of the dragon in Pisces works for you or against you. For your information, you heard of this person who is the fastest swimmer of all time. Okay, what is his name again?
Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps was born with the head of the dragon in Pisces. And that's why he swims so fast. That's why he had so many gold medals, because with the head of the dragon in Pisces, he is lucky in anything and everything that dwells with water. And that's why he is designed to swim fast with long, big feet and so forth. Make sense?
Yes.
Just throwing that out there. So in your case, having the moon and the tail of the dragon in Pisces shows that you have a very, very, I wouldn't say shy, but intuitive side. It shows that you have a lot of past life as a female. Now, doesn't take anything away from your masculinity, okay?
Sure.
But it shows a lot of past life as a female. That's where your intuition, your sensitivity, your shyness, and you do well in front of camera for that matter. But that's where it came from, so to speak, okay?
And I'll also say, like, at this point in the conversation, now I'm really paying attention because I'm kind of wondering if I could learn something really valuable here that could help me in my life.
Careful with the tail of the dragon in Pisces. Remember, Pisces rules also the subconscious. Okay, control your imagination. You may have vivid dreams, prophetic dreams. You may feel sometimes that you fly or you fell into your body. Did that happen to you?
I've flown. Yeah, I've had those dreams.
You're already into the subconscious with your tail of the dragon in Pisces. You're very close to God. So that means you're already into the superconscious. You're into the spiritual world, and you are able to do astral projection, remote viewing, anything that dwells in the superconscious. You have a blessing. And for your information, you have the same dragon that Nostradamus, Edgar Cayce, and Madame Blavatsky.
Wow.
And that depict your spirituality, your creativity through your dragon tail. Be careful also with chemicals. Anything that is not natural, you're going to have a natural negative response to it. Even a simple medical prescription can hurt you with this dragon tail.
That's very true.
Stay clear from anything that's not natural.
At this point in the film, you can see me thinking that in the film. You can see me starting to be kind of shook. I feel like, oh, this is a lot more specific to me right away than I thought.
Your head of the dragon is in Virgo. Fussy, picky, critical, detail-oriented, editing. Now you're talking about the Virgin Mary, that girl that helps you in your 11th house. See, Scorpio, that's 1, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Your head of the dragon is on the 11th house, which is the house of work, which is the house of wishes and friends. In other words, you can use the power of your dragon tail, the superconscious, to bring about your wishes. But Pisces is a very shy and very introvert, homebody type of sign. So in order to really benefit from your head of the dragon on your 11th house of wishes and friends, from Scorpio, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, you need to socialize a little bit more. Most of all, you must socialize when the moon is waxing. Why waxing? Okay, remember, positive, negative, up and down, black and white. 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 month, 6 months, 6 months, 1 year. You see the split? Everything is symmetrical. 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 sides of the brain, reptilians, draconis. Okay.
Draconian is basically the positive and reptilian is the negative. Before he kind of described it as the yin-yang. So draconian would be the white, the light side of the yin-yang, and reptilian would be the dark side of the yin-yang.
You're a fish. You heard of a farmer's almanac?
No.
Well,
Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah.
Yes, I have heard of that.
They do not plant when they feel like the farmers. They watch the moon. So just think, you are a Pisces, and you know the moon creates the tide, right? Twice a day. Okay? So watch the fish. If you swim after the new moon, you're protected. There is no sharks. Opportunity will be given to you through your 11th house. Now, after the full moon, what comes up must come down. If you try to swim after the full moon, look what happened. You're swimming after the full moon. The tide is not on your side anymore. The tide is against you. So you have to make sure that you swim after the new moon. Right now, do you know where the moon is?
No.
Do you know if she's up and down?
No.
She's down, but you're having a good time. Why?
I don't know.
Because you met me for the first time when the moon was waxing. So what is going on now is called a follow-up. From the new moon to the full moon, go out, meet people, socialize, sign contract, look for your wishes, meet people, don't stay home, swim, go. After the full moon, what comes up must come down. Back away, slow down, cut your hair, throw things away, do a garage sale, clean up, don't push the energy, the tide is against you. After the full moon, life continues. You cannot just stay there and cry and say nothing. You still do things. But you having good time now because it's a follow-up. You met me for the first time when we did our first movie in the waxing moon. So now you have a payoff. It's a follow-up. Do you understand?
Yes.
Make sure to synchronize with the gearbox with this dragon. Your awareness, understanding, and respect of the moon fluctuations will become a major contribution for your success or your failure in life with this dragon. And you are a terminal. A terminal means you have so many past lives. You're not coming back on this dense physical world. You're ready to use your imagination, your creativity to become a co-creator with God. In other words, when you die, you go back home. You go back to God, to you, because you were made in the image of God. God is too big to come down here. It's like you put your hand in the bag. See? That's all the humans, and that's God. So the idea is to realize you are in training on this dense physical world to use your imagination, because you're going to become a co-creator. You're gonna create new butterfly, new flowers, new source of life. Your imagination is your limit. In other words, you're done with the reincarnation principle.
I think you can tell that now I'm starting to really be curious about this whole reading thing. And it is far different than what I had imagined. He's now said a number of things that would, if he would have said the opposite, it would be completely, it would have ruined the reading. I would be doubting all of it, and kind of, it would have gone more along the lines of, oh, he's going to say some things and they're going to be true, and then he's going to say some things and I'll just be like, no, that's not really me. That has not happened at all.
Make sense?
That makes us a lot of
Any
sense.
problem on your digestive tract or your intestine?
Yes.
Remember, Virgo rules the intestines. So anytime you're depressed, you're negative, or if you do not pay attention to your diet, you may pay the price on the digestive tract. The head and the tail of the dragon are both positive and negative. I just pointed out. At the same time, don't turn yourself into a health fanatic or a vegetarian. Fight the Virgin Mary. She works for you. You don't work for her.
Right.
Okay? All right. So that's...
Well, that's very accurate. And growing up, I was very shy.
all
Growing
right.
up.
Yeah, I could see all that.
Yeah.
And green, nature, and plant is where you regenerate. You also regenerate from your feet. You regenerate from the magnetic field of the earth. Okay, now, during many of your past lives have been with disappeared civilization, where you were living in an exotic place. You see Pisces, whose island, the Mayan, the Incas, the Sumerian. During those days, you wore no shoes. You were always going barefoot. So the universe will allow you to regenerate from the magnetic field of the earth through your feet when you walk barefoot, but not on the tile, carpet, or wood floor. You have to be on the dirt, on the grass, or especially by the water where the waves are breaking.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
All right.
Some of the stuff that Dr. Turi says is so specific to me that when I think about it, I thought, one of these astrology readings is going to have a lot of general statements that could be true for anyone. But so many of the things that he said would be only true for me. Almost no one that I know would some of these things be true for. And I try to think about how is he doing that? And if he would have said something differently, it would be completely wrong. So many of the things, the opposite, would just be completely not accurate for me.
Look at that. Jupiter, the lord of luck, the biggest planet in our solar system. Jupiter, the teacher, the connection with foreigners. Jupiter is called in Greek mythology the great protector. He was set by the extraterrestrials in our solar system with such a mass that anything that would come and destroy us will go on Jupiter's back first. We have experienced that with the Shoemaker comet many years ago. All this comet went on the back of Jupiter, protecting us. Jupiter is right in your 10th house of career. If you count to 10 from Scorpio, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look, the universe, wherever you have Leo, if you remember we talked earlier, wherever you have Leo, God wants you to shine. God wants you to have a stage, to bring the light, to gather the light. And whatever you're going to do will benefit the children of the future. And by the way, Leo rules France, and I am in your Korea, and I'm French, half French and half Sicilian. You see? Jupiter, Uranus, right on your 10th house of Korea. It will always protect you if you do things in a big way. You cannot do things in a small way when you have Jupiter right in your 10th house of Korea, blessing you with foreigners all over the world. You understand that?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Now, what else do we have? We got so much to say about you. Just point out a few things here. You got Saturn in Virgo, okay? Like me, Saturn, the great malefic, is in the sign of Virgo. But it is on your head of the dragon. Saturn is the engineer of the zodiac. And being in the sign of Virgo, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which is your 11th house of wishes and friends, much of your wishes will take place late in life. Okay, so Saturn will bring you people who have names and power, people that have reach a certain amount of recognition. So it is towards the latest part of your life that you will reach your wishes, and chances are you're going to live a long time with Saturn right there on your wishes.
So he mentions that I'm going to live a long life. So that's an interesting concept for me, because I have been so unhealthy for so long that in my mind, there's no way I could live to be an older person and have the life that so many people in my family have had. That's the curious part. My grandfather lived close to being 100. My dad right now is in his 80s, and he is going along super strong. He could easily live to be 100.
What else do we have? On the subconscious, you have Pluto. Remember Pluto? The most powerful planet you can get, the regulator of Scorpio, the planet to regulate the reptilians. Okay, the base of the reptilians are on the planet Pluto at the verge of our solar system. When you were born, Pluto is into the sign of Libra, right here, right in your subconscious house. That's your first house, that's your 12th house. So you happen to have this very powerful planet right here, as you can see in the chart, okay? Pluto in Libra. So you are the generation who regenerate by learning all about the laws of man and the laws of light. With Pluto in the sign of Libra, you have to understand also Libra was marriage and partnerships. And Pluto would attract you to Plutonic people that can be very destructive or very progressive and force you into a legal battle or divorces or God knows what. I don't want to dwell too much about that. But on a more positive impact, it shows your regeneration principle taking place when you learn the laws of man, the laws of light, like we're doing right here, right now. Mars is in Sagittarius. Mercury is in Sagittarius. Neptune is in Sagittarius, right in your second house of money. Okay, so Sagittarius or Jupiter, teaching, publishing, foreigners, foreign land, depict a lot of traveling, education, for involving foreigners, philosophy, the Indians, all in your second house of money. Mars is also between the man and the horse in your back. Be careful. Okay, Mars, the planet of danger, the red planet of danger, is right here between the man and the horse on the low back. So if you got to lift something, make sure to bend your knees, be careful your back. On the more positive impact, Mars will stimulate you to make more money, to build your self-esteem for education and traveling and the wild and nature and pets. Sagittarius was the pet world. So having Mars in this area, it depicts a drive, respect, and love for animals, especially knowing that during your past life with disappeared civilization, you had to skin those animals and you had to eat those animals to survive. So in this lifetime, you have to pay respect for them. Mercury is inside. Sometimes you're too honest and you're too direct. People don't like the truth. That's the typical Scorpio. And then you feel guilty because you have the moon in Pisces. Oh my gosh, I have hurt somebody. The type of person who could beat somebody and then call 911 to revive him. So it's a bit of a conflict. But it's definitely a very interesting position that you have here. Neptune is in the second house of money, so Neptune rules Pisces. Again, in the second house of money, moving, creativity, the arts, spirituality is all in your second house of money with this planet in there. Mercury in Sagittarius, you could also, if you discipline yourself, crystallize your thought and become a writer. But you've got to discipline yourself.
I was a writer.
You were a writer?
Yeah, I wrote for a magazine for quite a while.
Then you just confirmed the power of astropsychology, which is really good. Thank you for confirming.
I was a journalist. I wrote for websites. I wrote for magazines. I still have written. I'm writing a book right now. So I do have discipline in my life, and even more so than just writing. Like I have had dietary discipline, exercise discipline. Like there's all kinds of things. Suffering is a regular part of my life, and I'm pretty good at it in a lot of ways. So being disciplined is something that's a big part of my life.
As far as the forecast is concerned, last couple of years, you see, 1, 2, 3, the tail of the dragon, nasty negative energy, was in Capricorn. Okay? Now Capricorn rules the government, of course. Universally, our president's been impeached, the government was shut down. Capricorn was also the king, the queen of England. You can see what happened with England and the royal. Capricorn was also old people, and a lot of them died. And Capricorn was also the large corporation. Many of them went belly up. That's the tail of the dragon who lasts 2 years. 1, 2, 3 was in your mind. And that could have also affected you because Capricorn was politics. You kind of stay away from all that. May the 15th, 2020, the tail of the dragon moved from Capricorn into Sagittarius. Okay? That's the tail of the dragon, our president. He's very unlucky with foreigners, religion, the law. In Sagittarius is the pet world, as you know, and Trump is the only president who doesn't have a dog in the White House. He doesn't like pets. Again, we discussed that earlier. But the tail of the dragon is now on your second house, and the head of the dragon is on your 8th house in Gemini. Okay? That is where your potential is. So we count 7, 8. 8th house. 8th house is the house of metaphysics, life and death, traditionally controlled by Scorpio. The 8th house is also other people money and your paycheck. Okay? So you have the head of the dragon in the finance house. Okay? The tail is on your second house, forcing you to completely reevaluate all about your education and your finance, and realizing this with partners that you make most money, and within the world of communication, writing, teaching, and moving around. Gemini, action, talking.
It's almost like a weight off your shoulders as he's saying these things, because, I mean, he's not, I don't necessarily have evidence that this is going to happen, but him merely saying it gives me this really odd comfort. And it's like therapy in a lot of ways. It feels almost like a breakthrough at therapy, where like you really find some sort of positive direction.
In about a year and a half from now, the tail of the dragon is going to move on you in Scorpio. The head will be on your 7th house of marriage and partnerships. Now, God through the stars wants you to completely and entirely revamp your 7th house. See, as a rule, you're supposed to attract Tauruses, but you also attract Pisces, okay, and Cancer. As a rule, if you're married and happily married, your relationship will grow drastically and there'll be more contract your way. The head will protect you. If you're unhappy or if you're single, the dragon will want you to have new partner, sign contract, get married, put it this way, because I don't know your situation.
Sure.
So, yeah, there is a complete restructure of the way you're going to face the world. And meaning your partner will bring you stability, will bring you money, solidity, while you have to completely, again, reevaluate all about your inner self. So it's like dying and rebirthing. And when the head and the tail of the dragon move on you, it's like starting a new section of your life. Remember, Scorpio regenerate with metaphysics. You have everything that is representing the spirit. I've seen people with your stars who turn monk, they want to live in a cave. They don't want to deal with life. They want to go back on the tail. It shows also many of your past life involving religion, where of course you pay the ultimate price. Be careful with Middle Eastern people. Be careful with the Middle East. Careful with drugs and alcohol. Careful with deceiving Neptunian people. But your dragon said in the 11th house of wishes and friend will always be there to promote every one of those wishes, especially if you understand to synchronize with the waxing moon that I explained earlier today to you.
I wanted to ask you, when you said that I'm swimming and then the tide is rising and then I'm swimming and the tide is low, how do I know when it's going up and down?
Well, the regular calendar will point out a black dot, which means it's a new moon. You don't see the moon, it's dark out there. And then 2 weeks later, you see the moon full, white and round, and your calendar will show a circle. When it's black is new, 2 weeks later, it's white and round is full. So that's where you swim upstream. But that is the basics. You need to know every 2 or 3 days the moon changes sign. And when she's saying sign, she's bringing different energy, different experiences that through our website, we will teach you how to use those various energy as they come across, because this eternal clock will never ever stop. It always goes forward. And now and then you have Mercury, of course, that's going to be going retrograde. You know, there you go, Mercury retrograde right here, 3 times a year. We explained that earlier. I'm going to show you how the tarot works. See, we have the tarot right here.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to take.
Do we need to reposition?
Yeah.
Going into this reading, we did not do anything to prepare for it. He didn't like ask me a bunch of questions or anything. We went directly into the reading and he is just going right off the cards.
Being a Scorpio, the way you think and you talk is on your 3rd house, which is Capricorn. November, December, January, Capricorn. So a lot of Scorpio have engineering values. They're rational, they're practical, they're into politics and power. Okay. So this 3rd house also delegates the critical thinking and details. So I'm going to do a little bit of numerology on you. Okay. I want you to give me a number between 1 and 10.
7.
Okay. Now, see, I didn't touch the card. Okay, now this is what I want you to do. I want you to get this pack of cards, just get them and count them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What I prove to you is that there is 2 forces at work. Remember? Positive, negative, up and down, black and white, from the back, God, devil, male, female, yin and yang, 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 sides of the brain, the reptile, the dragoness, where you have a physical world, where we talk and communicate with vocal cord and sounds. And then you have a spiritual world, right? I send you a thought. And you're so receptive, so spiritual, so sensitive. Picked it. So there is 2 ways to communicate, physically and psychically. Never ever forget, when you talk to somebody, he's going to talk to you in both the physical and the spiritual language. So you can listen to that little voice that never lies here. Pay attention. The reason why it was easy for me to do that on you is because your tail of the dragon in Pisces is so highly spiritual that you grasp the energy from the superconscious almost immediately. But I wanted to prove a point between the physical and the spiritual manifesto and how we communicate both ways. You got it? All right, now, this is where we're going to delegate Draco.
Okay.
Draco is the entity on my other movie that entered my life. You saw those orbs? They came from far away, closer, then they came into my heart, into my head. I met Draco during a solar eclipse in 2012. And those orbs are very real. Now he's going to talk to us. So this is called the Astro Tarot. Okay? Now you can see I'm using only the major arcade. Traditionally, the Tarot de Marseille, or the tarot, 72 cards. But I'm using only the major arcade because we are doing the Astro tarot, and you cannot use the minor arcade. It's an offense to the tarot to use the minor arcade when you do the Astro tarot, which means mingling the cards in Nostradamus' work. You have only use the major arcade. So, what you're going to do, you're going to use your left hand. Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay, well, the left hand is your spiritual hand. The right hand is your physical hand. Okay, so the spirit will work through the left hand, and Draco will connect with you. So let's pull a card with your left hand. Okay, just pull it. Just pull a card, and we're going to look at the energy around you. What is the energy today around you? The moon. Okay, so the moon on your first house means that you're thinking also about something about your home, maybe a family member or your pet. You mentioned that earlier. The moon is your family, it's your nucleus. It's also the real estate. Maybe moving. Are you planning to move?
Not yet, but it might be coming.
Well, that's what the moon is all about. It shows also that you understood me when I talk about the up and down of the moon. So you start with the moon. Watch the moon. Draco said to you, watch the moon. Okay. Starting very well. Let's go into the money and the self-esteem. Okay. Now you can have all the money in the world. If you're sick or if you have no love, you're gonna have a problem. And then you feel different coming and see me with a Ferrari or a bicycle. So when you make money, it builds your self-esteem.
Sure.
So what do you have in this house? You have the queen of the mind. In other words, you have a female queen. I would see this as your intuition. I would say this your creativity. And of course, she's asking you to look above your head, the divine, so that you can regain your power. Okay. So she regulates your second house of money. Do you have a partner?
No.
Okay. That is a message that in order to build your self-esteem and your finances, you need to have that love and that partner. That's a message that Draco says she's ahead of you.
That makes sense.
You're doing good. Let's go into your mental process, your third house, your critical thinking. Okay? What do we have? You have the magician. See, you were born with all the tools on the table. Okay? You're smart, you have the great dragon, you're curious, you got it all. Artistic. But new tools are given to you today. They are on the table. You see, the magician?
I see.
Okay. Now, the idea is to mingle those tools with the one I gave you, so that you can become a magician with your mind, with your thought, because the magician is in your mind. You got it?
Yes.
Doing good. So far, so good. No negative card. If you get a negative card, we have to cover. Let's go into your home area, your fourth house. That's the base of your operation. You're stuck.
Okay.
Okay. The hangman means that it's maybe outside of your control. The environment, kind of stuck. I mean, look at coronavirus. He says you're kind of stuck at home. You're not the only one. Okay. But at the same time, the hangman means that you can auto-analyze yourself from the base of your operation. So I'm going to put you back on your feet and giving you the grounding through all this work we're doing today. You can reevaluate your base of operation. Okay. Fifth house, love, romance, creativity, and children. Okay? Let's go into this house.
Oh, I got two.
No accident. I have to read both.
Okay.
Now, you pull two. Okay. Wow. You have the sun and you have Leo. I mean, that is a very beautiful card. This is your fifth house of speculation, creativity, love, romance, the seat of attraction between human beings. Draco is pointing out the two people, that's you and the one you love. It could also be you and your pet, which is a good substitute for love. But Draco sees something much better. He sees the strength and he sees a partner. He's actually confirming the dragon moving on your seventh house in a year and a half from now. You watch. You're doing very well on that one.
The relationship stuff keeps coming up. And I have definitely thought that now might be the time for me to start looking to date again. I'm not getting any younger. So I should probably try and do that before I get too old. And you never know, maybe I can find the right person that I haven't met this whole time.
Okay, so watch for somebody born in July, May, and careful if you meet somebody born in March.
Okay.
Okay, these people are going to be karmically connected to you, like me. I'm a Pisces. I'm right here. Okay, I'm in your speculation house. We speculate. We do all things together. But as a female or a partner in this area, it means that you're going to have a karmic relationship. That person can be the best or the worst.
Okay.
Pisces. You got it?
Yeah.
Because it's on your tail.
Okay.
You got it?
All right.
All right. 6 hours of work and health. You get headaches or sinuses?
I do get headaches.
Yeah. All right. Just pull a card. Use your left hand. Yeah. You don't have any stitches on your head, do you?
Nope.
All right. Okay. This is good. All right. Yeah. Sometimes I shout things like that. Don't ask me where I get it for your head. Okay. You have the devil.
Oh boy.
Okay. You have that on your 6 hours of work and health. Okay. Now the devil is me, or it's what Christians call me. Of course, I'm not a devil. This is you. I'm trying to open your eyes of the values of all your past life involving metaphysics, astrology, and because much of your past life you use herbs, rocks, plants. You use everything that is medicinal and natural. What Christians would consider as being the work of the devil.
Sure.
So it shows that you have in you a lot of, I wouldn't say witchcraft residue, but a lot of mystical power from previous past lives. Use it. Don't be afraid of it. And don't let anything religious go against you because you're unlucky with religion.
This is also true.
Marriage, partnerships, contract, where you're supposed to attract a wealthy partner.
Oh, good.
Now, this is why people say don't mess around with a Scorpio because they're very revengeful. Actually, you're dealing with a bull. When you're into a relationship, you're not a Scorpio, you're a bull.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and you have horns. So if somebody does something wrong, you can't stop a bull. Okay? Very solid and very strong. So that's who you become. Okay, so you're going to attract wealthy people here on your partnerships and contracts. Use your left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what the dragon. Draco, here you go. I was right. You have the death card. I told you were going to die and rebirth. Remember?
Oh, I have a deep relationship with that.
Yeah. So you have a complete dying and rebirthing energy as far as your partnerships and this in the world is concerned, and that's going to only accentuate once the dragon moves in this house. Very, very powerful. Okay. Doesn't mean physical death. If it was on the 8th house, it'd be different. So it means you would hear about somebody dying. But it's on the 7th. So you're going to die the way, if you're single, get married. If you don't want people, they got to move. Got it?
Yes.
Scorpio card, the death card. 8th house. Now we are into the world of Scorpio. See, in this house, you become a Gemini. That's why you like to talk and read and communicate. Doing what we do now in the house of speculation within the world of metaphysics and Scorpio, you're a Gemini.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Use your left hand. Let's see what Draco says about the 8th house. Okay, you have Mars.
Okay.
Okay. Mars is also the card number 2, which is Gemini, which means a lot of activity. Mars will push you into this house to make money, to delegate metaphysics, to get involved into the world of Scorpio and communication. Mars is pushing you. Confirmed. 2-2. 9th house. This is your relationship with foreigners, teaching, publishing, traveling. Dr. Turi, I'm a foreigner. Okay, so let's see what's your relationship here. You have divine guidance. That's it? That's me.
Oh, that's you.
It is
Yeah, it is.
It is also somebody dead, which is watching over you, a guardian angel. Okay? So this is a beautiful card to have in the 9th house. The wings represent once everything is said and done, you're going to be flying, okay, physically and spiritually. The 9th house is a blessing as far as you're concerned. 7, 8, 9. And you will treat some of your foreigners friends like me, like family member, because in the 9th house you become a Cancer, which is food, security, friends. All right? You're doing good, my friend. It looks like Draco likes you. Not bad card somewhere. Okay, let's go into your career. 10th house. That's your public standing. All right, what do we have? Okay, you see that? The fire tower.
Okay.
Okay, this is all the problems that you had to deal with. And this is you and someone crushing. So it is important that you have an emotional state which could hinder your career. Okay? It is something that is in the past that you need to let go. Another word. You got to do some soul searching maybe. But I can only be very honest. Okay, a person has hurt you. Okay, and still linger inside, and you're not completely dead out of it, so to speak. So let me cover this card. That's your first negative card, which is affecting your career. Okay? So you need to have all the focus on the light and love in career. Okay.
Wow.
Not the past. There's no future in your past. And here you go. So you have the stars. It's very different stars. So you did cover one of the worst cards in your career by the card of astrology, New Age, Aquarius, television, UFOs, anything to do with the divine. The card of astrology is running your career. So Draco tells you, let go of the past and move on to the future. The stars are on your side. Let's go into your 11th house of wishes and friends. Now, this is a very important house because if you don't socialize or if you don't have any friends, no wishes. That's why it's so critical for people. If you have a problem with a family member or with a friend, to the limit, of course, try to keep that person. You lose a friend, you lose a family member, you lose a wish. That's the rule. Okay? Let's see what you have in the 11th house of wishes and friends. We know that you have the head of a dragon in this house. Okay. Part of your wishes. See the old guy here? It's you. That's what you want. Find yourself and find love. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
He has the lover on the 11th house of wishes and friends. This is not a bad card. It simply points out that if you socialize a little bit more, and when the moon is waxing, it's on your head of a dragon. Okay, it's telling you where you're a little bit weak. Okay,
Yes.
Let's cover it. Use your left hand.
Okay, that one.
All right. He has the chariot. So this is you. You're the king. You're in charge, and you have two horses: the horse of the past and the horse of the future. Draco is saying to you, there's no future in your past. You're at a crossroads. Move on. Go and get your wishes. Really good card. A lot of action. See the chariot?
Yes.
Moving. Okay, now we're going to deal with the card which is very special. Okay? Because we're going to deal with Draco. Now, this is a subconscious house. That's where the magic resides. Okay? That's where God will turn a worm in the water into a butterfly. Okay, that's reincarnation, that's deep power, that's mystical, that's where Draco resides. He has a very specific message for you. It could be really good, it could be really bad, you cannot make it up. Use your left hand. Well, what is this?
It says fortune.
The Wheel of Fortune. Okay, the message is clear. It's confirming that you understood me when I talk about the up and down. Don't you see the up and you see the down?
Sure.
It's confirming that you got it and now you have to pay attention to it. If you do so, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So Draco is giving you his blessing.
Wow.
And that's how you do an Astro Tarot, like Nostradamus used to do. I usually have that big table. You've seen it in my office.
Sure.
Some smaller that I carry with me in my conferences. But this is how I operate as far as the Astro Tarot is concerned, delegating with Draco.
So I suppose looking back on the whole reading, there were certain situations where he's asking me a question. He's not necessarily making a statement. And those situations, I guess they could go either way. You know, when you're asking a question, you know, you could kind of say, oh, yes, I asked that question because I knew it was true. Or you could say, I asked that question because the opposite is true. And you can kind of go with whatever the person says. So that's not the most convincing for me. But it also was interesting kind of how he was presenting some of the questions, because I felt like I could tell he was trying to get affirmations. And that is interesting. That affirmations for me are very powerful. And he had so many statements that weren't questions, where he had read something in my chart that said I was a certain way, and it's true. And I know so many people, and I've encountered so many different kinds of personalities, that it was really odd for me to have my personality pinned down so well from a chart. Even if it's some sort of a trick, the fact that there were almost no errors at all, not even little wavering moments where it was kind of going off the course, I'm really impressed by that. And the whole concept of astrology, as he described it, was the first science, right? And I think there is more to it than what I originally gave credit for. So I'm curious. I'm open-minded more so to it moving forward. I'm not going to just start living my life by Mercury being in retrograde or any of that kind of stuff. But I do find it interesting. And it convinced me that it was more compelling than just random chance. The thing I took away the most from it was that it gave me, even being a skeptic, it gave me a very strange confidence and reassurance moving forward in life, to where I had been feeling pretty negative thoughts. And after that reading, even days after, I noticed that I had a much higher positivity level. I was more hopeful, looking towards the future, more confident that I was going to succeed. All of those little things that he said were like little seeds of positivity, and they were growing in my brain. Whether I was convinced by the authenticity of the whole thing or not, I think that it's a really good positive thing.